Today I wanted to talk about a couple things. Ivan and I, though I don't think he's going to stay up in my lap too long because he's fussing. If you followed some of my videos, you saw how I enjoy repurposing old computers and other electronic items. I listen to a lot of music from my computer, my PC, and it's lossless audio. Most of my files, MP3s and such, and maybe some of you do too. I came across this little touchscreen PC over my shoulder here. I wanted to talk about it and how I've used it. Plus, I wanted to talk about using a portable installation of Wine on Linux to run any of your Windows applications, and also how you can improve the audio if you listen to music from your PC. And there's Ivan, he's knocking my camera mount here down there. That's why it's wiggling around. But let's get into that, and I'll explain to you why I've done what I did with this and software that I used. So there were a lot of times I may be messing around on the bench and I don't necessarily want to have my PC turned on. So there's always alternatives to streaming music over to your equipment. And let's take a look at this Advantech touchscreen PC. Now, originally, it started its life out in a hospital setting, and it was this is actually the tag off the front. It was just a temperature monitoring system. It's a fairly old unit. I'd probably say from mid to late 2000s. I'm not sure because it has a Atom 1.6 processor in it, and it uses a CF flash card, which originally had a 4 gigabyte storage card in it, and I had an 8, so I just put that one in. And there was no network card, but I took apart an old laptop and I installed a network card, Intel ProSet, I do believe is what it was. And it has a varying number of ports. If you look at the back, you can see it has a nice mount already on it for a monitor mount. So I had purchased a small mount that I'm going to mount it over by my tube amplifiers to feed the audio out. And also, there's the bottom view. You can see it has a number of ports for USB, audio in, out, and some serial ports and such, a couple LAN ports. But the only reason I put the wireless card in there is of course for streaming music, and I'll get to that in a minute. So as you can see from the insides, it's just your basic simple little one board PC. You can see the CF card. It only has it handles 2 gigabytes of RAM, so you can't put any more RAM in it to that, more than that. And it is a 32-bit processor, this Atom CPU that's in here, so you're kind of limited on operating systems. Now, this unit originally came with either Windows XP embedded or Windows 7 is embedded is what they used. And I chose to put a version of Puppy Linux, and based on Ubuntu, which is the Jammy Jelly version. And so this is the Jammy Pup 32 is what I used in here. And the reason I chose that is the screen, the touch screen is a pen mount screen, and there are drivers there for Ubuntu, so it works fine. And one thing you can do to improve your audio, if you do listen to any lossless audio files out of your PC, like I do, or if you MP3s, even MP3s, you can improve it greatly by purchasing a DAC, a digital to analog converter. Now I'll show you in a minute the one I have. It's an older Sound Blaster USB, and it does the job fine for me, fine for my ears. Like I said, I'm not a high-end audio guy. I guess I say I'm sound for the regular guy. You remember that old Rodney Dangerfield movie, Easy Money, when he started the clothing line. It was, regular guy clothing. And so I have to chuckle about that. So a sound for the regular guy. But there's a number of things you can do in your audio to improve things, especially in your tube amplifiers and your speakers. As you saw, I did a rebuild of my main speakers that I use, my bookshelf speakers down here. And I don't have a audio room, so I go as far as I can, and I'm happy with how I have everything sounding. So the power supply for this little unit's a 12 volt, 3.5 amp power supply. And I did use a keyboard when I set this Puppy Linux up in it, and I'll go through that a little bit. And also, I mentioned about using portable Linux. Now, I'll leave some links in the description of where you can download this portable Linux, and there's an instruction page, and it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to do, pretty easy to install, and pretty easy to use. Now, my favorite music player has always been Winamp on Windows. So I wanted to keep that. That's why I used Wine. And I wanted to keep that capability on this, and putting it all on a USB stick, not necessarily the operating system. What you could do with any small device, make a USB stick with Puppy Linux on it, but I wanted to make my music files, which I have like over 29 gigabytes of lossless audio, all my CDs ever that I ripped, and lossless audio takes up a lot of space. So in case I ever found a different operating system for this or use something different, I could just plug that USB stick with the portable Wine on it that has the setup for Winamp on it, and all my music files, pop it in there, and I'll show you how to register it and make it work on any Linux PC. So it's kind of handy for that if you want something portable and make your Windows Wine files in Windows that working through Wine portable. So let's look at the PC. I'll fire it up here, and I'll run through a little bit of what I did to get it installed and to make it all work. And it works fine. And actually, it's the Sound Blaster USB box that I have for the DAC, the digital audio converter. Ubuntu picks that up. Don't have to install any drivers. It works great, just like in a Windows installation. My Windows 10 picks it up right away, and I can use it without any driver files or anything like that. So let's turn this on and have a look at it, and I'll explain a little bit of details of what I did. And you can do something of this sort if you wish to. That's up to you, but I'm always playing around with new ideas and thinking, how can I use this old piece of equipment to make it useful? Because I hate throwing anything away, especially old technology. And there's a lot of it I did get rid of that I wish I had that I don't have. So I like old technology, and I thought maybe I'll do a next video. Being that I worked in a hospital for 45 years, I was involved in a lot of technology, even before there wasn't any technology. I'll explain that. I want to talk about the evolution of computer networking in a hospital and electronics and things that were put in. And I thought it might be a little bit interesting to do talk about that. So let's look at the little touchscreen computer here and talk a little bit about that. So here's the setup that I have running in Puppy Linux here, and I'm using Winamp, and of course my favorite skin is the MMD3 skin that I've used for years. I've been using Winamp since the mid 90s, I think, somewhere around there when it first came out. This is actually, here's my little DAC that I use. This is Sound Blaster, and it's an older version, but it works fine. You don't have to get anything expensive, just something that's half decent. And I think this does a nice job, and it sounds really great. Made an improvement even on the MP3 files I have on computer in the back end. You have the some various inputs and outputs there, and USB in, and it works fine for me. Like I said, most of my audio is lossless that I've ripped from all my CDs, and I have it all on that installation. But it runs fine. I have a actually you can use a touch screen if you wish to play files. Or I have a little a mouse here connected to it for now. It's a little easier as I'm going to explain a few things, but it works fine. The only thing, if you're going to stream audio with this from if you open up the and go to the media library, and if you go to the online services, it's going to crash, and I'll explain why I think that happens in a minute. It doesn't do that on the PC, but I'll explain about that. What you have to do is you can go to those online services if you want to stream some radio through here, and you can do it on your PC and just save the links and just copy it over, make a playlist and copy it over to your wherever you have your playlist stored. But to install, first of all, the pen drivers for this are pretty straightforward. See where I have them stored, I don't remember. Let's go to the CF. Okay, I probably have them over here. The pen drivers, just very simple thing of I don't have them here on here. Oh, there they are. You just have to extract them, open up the folder, and it's a simple matter of running the setup. Simple as that. The setup script. And since this pen driver is there it is there, the install. There's an install script here. Here it is, the install.sh. Sorry, I went up too many levels on the folders. But it's very simple. The pen mount itself on this particular PC, and actually it'll work for any touchscreen on a that has a pen mount if you're using any version of Ubuntu, because the this version here, the Jammy Pup 32 is based on Jammy Jelly Ubuntu. So the install script, and what it will do, this touchscreen driver itself is a serial touchscreen. So it'll go through and check every port on the PC till it finds the pen mount itself, the screen, the touch screen, and it'll install the driver. So you're all set then. That's pretty straightforward. When you go to install the portable wine, I wanted to talk about that. Portable wine is very simple to install. I have it mounted on my USB stick here. All you need to do is right click on it. And what you want to do is you want to UE extract it. And you're going to end up with a folder, this folder here, Wine Portable 712, because it's based on 712. And inside this folder, you're going to find this folder here, Wine Portable. Now, all you need to do is, Ivan, quit bumping my camera, buddy. My cat, he's down here fuzzing around. All you need to do is move this folder wherever you want the installation to be. The only reason I put it on the USB stick is, well, maybe I might change the OS on this at some time, find a different Linux to put on it. I don't know. The only reason I use Puppy is because there aren't too many 32-bit newer Linux distributions available anymore. And also the limited drive space on this and the limited memory. But Puppy works fine on it. It's lightweight and it does everything I need to do. So what you would do is drop this folder wherever you wanted it, and right click it and register portable wine on Puppy menu. It's simple as that. And if you do not, depends on what file manager you're using. I have the default in here, Rocks, but there are others out there. But if you don't see that on your menu to register, then very simply you either open this folder. In this case here, it's going to say look inside, or you just might see a folder to click on. So you would open that, simple as that, and you would run register. Now what that's going to do is register portable wine in your menu. Then the next thing you'd want to do is go to your menu and in utility, run wine config. Click on that. And what that's going to do, it's going to configure wine. It's also going to, let's go back here. It's also going to build all the folders for your data. In this case, wine data folder here. You can see your drive C and Windows users, program files and such. It's going to build that. And during the installation, it's going to ask you if you want to install Mono. Now, I went ahead and installed Mono because maybe there's some software in the future that I may want to run. Yeah, Ivan. And who knows? So it's pretty simple. Once that's done and all installed, you can add whatever Windows program you wanted to. In this case, I installed the Winamp installation files. This is the 591 10029 final full edition. And what that is going to do also, Winamp wants to install Gecko because it can actually communicate through the web if you're going to stream music and such. And that's one of the issues, I think, why the online services don't work properly, because it's not 100%. So that's fine. But as simple as that, you can put that in there, install everything, you have it all running. Now, if I wanted to use this portable wine with Winamp on another Linux PC, I would just have to go in, plug it into the USB port, open up the drive, and register portable wine to that PC, to that Linux operating system, and it would work because everything is stored. The Winamp itself is stored. I'll show you. Is stored in the wine data. The program, that's right on the USB stick. Program files, and there it is, Winamp there, and there's where it installed it. So it's pretty straightforward. So you could do this with any small PC, maybe a little netbook. Remember those little netbooks that were around? But this has a nice mount on it. As you see, I put a mount on it, so I'm going to hang it over there by my tube amplifiers and use it with my DAC, and I can listen to some music other than on my CDs that way. So it's pretty simple to use, pretty simple to install this way. My DAC also has this little DAC also has a line in or a photo input in it also. It has optical audio from a CD player. You can do, and it's a basic little sound blaster. It's a see, the model number is a SB1240, and it's obsolete, but you can find them, used ones. I've had this one for a long while, and it works fine. It's just powered by the USB port. So I thought I'd just share that with you all. Just another little dinky project I've done, repurposing another computer for dedicated use, and it works pretty good. Now you see when Winamp closed, there was an error there because I had some things open, but that's okay. We're not worried about that. But it works fine, and this little version of Puppy has a lot. I still have a few things to get working. I want to get the suspend working. Right now, if I suspend it, I've got the networking turning back on, but the touchscreen's not turning back on. So I need to fuss around a little bit so that it can go to sleep itself and suspend by itself, and I don't have to turn it on or off. And also, it's relatively easy to get the Winamp to start whenever the PC restarts. So other than that, you have any questions, any comments, enjoy your sound. Have a good day.